Greetings! Hello guys! In today's video, I'm going to share with you some information about how to become a red unofficial server. Now for this video, I'm going to include what you have to do before joining a server. So let's get right into it. Now, there's two websites, namely TopCon servers and BattleMetrics. I advise these two websites before joining any official server to check out your server and track it down. The reason why I advise this is that it's really important that you know who are those people who are currently online and who may be playing on there. This is really important because of multiple reasons. So let me just search for one server. Over here, you can search the server name or the IP address. Now, if I type 1088, because I want to find the server 1088, this is what will pop up. Over here, we will be able to see the IP address of the server and the players. Now, why is it important to track the server down before joining it? Over here, you will be able to see the Funcom IDs and the session time. So if I know the Funcom ID of a player and I can attach it to a specific clan, then I will be able to know and track it down that that clan is currently online, or at least a few or even one member is online from them. And it is really important because when you want to be a red, you will be most likely raiding offline people, and sometimes you will be doing online raid. It will be really up to you if you choose to raid online or offline. But now, how can you know that this Funcom ID belongs to this clan? Well, there are multiple ways. But the best way to know is that if there's like only a few people on the server and you go to the clan base and you'll be see that the decay timer is full. Now, if there's like only you and him on the server, then you will be able to know that, okay, this Funcom ID belongs to this clan. And when I know it, then it will be easy to attach it. And as people are logging on, you'll be able to track it down. They could be also speaking on the global chat, on the local chat, and when you go to the player list, you'll be able to see that, okay, this player name, this is the player ID, the Funcom ID, and then it will write out the clan. It is really important at the start when you're joining a server to know that, okay, which clan is the most powerful, which clan is the weakest. Now, advancing further, it will be really important to know that, okay, how many players are in this clan, how many players are in the other clan. And your journey starts when you're coming here. The second important thing is that you'll be able to see when were people online. So you'll be able to see that, for instance, this is an European server, this 1088, and you will be able to check that at your given hour, how many people had been online. And you can also look at the weekly results. You can see that in the past week, how many people were online. So this is a HypeUp server. Now the other website which I'm going to show you is BattleMetrics. Now this is the idea of it. And now over here, if you write into the search the 1088, it will show up if you click on the search. Now BattleMetrics lists multiple games. Over here you can see this is how many games and which games they are listing. So if you want to track it down better, then you just click on Conan Exiles and it will show up only one. If you don't, then it will show up multiple, and then you have to search for the Conan Exiles logo on the left side at the rank. You'll be able to track down the IP address as well over here, and the location that it was from Germany. Now over here, this website is totally different than TopCon, and the reason for it is that you can track it down by not today, but you can track down 24 hours, the 7 days. You can even track down sometimes 30 days, and it works for 3 months as well. Over here you can see that, okay, this server had been pretty hype up most of the time. You can see that it had declined in the recent week or so, because the average was like 10 players, and like a month ago it was average 20-ish players. You can also look at the premium for BattleMetrics. It could be useful. I do not advise for spending on anything, but take a look on it and check it out if you'd like to. Over here, there's like nothing else what is interesting on BattleMetrics. The main feature of it is that you can check out an hour ago how many players joined to the server. It is important because you'll be able to track down and see that, okay, this is a high pop server. Then you can question yourself, do you want to play on a high pop server? Do you want to play on a medium pop server? How many players maximum you'd like to stay with, etc. So it is really important to do your homework before joining a server. Now, if you're searching for a low pop server, let me find one first. This is server 1031. Now the thing is, what you have to know about these websites, guys, is that sometimes the information about the servers is incorrect. This server is a PvP server, however in the game mode it says PvE. So you better check it in your Conan Exiles when you're searching for the server, that if it's PvP or PvE, and you can ensure yourself if you see in Conan Exiles that it's a PvP server. You can look at, like today over here there was like pretty low pop, but what will be interesting is that you can track down when people had been online. So what you can do is you can know when players are active, you can track them down, and when they are not. So by this you can have some sort of data that, okay, this is a time when maybe I could scout it out the server without them noticing I had been on, unless they are checking TopCon servers. However, the thing is that if you're not online when they are checking on TopCon or on BattleMetrics, they will not know your Funcom ID. Thus, this is the way how you can stay hidden. Now look, if you're trying to scout a server during raid time, if you're just joining in level 0, trying to go around the map and figuring out where are the bases, which clans are there, which Funcom IDs, who are the players, how many players, etc., then most likely the players will notice your Funcom ID, and whenever they see you, they might log on because they might see that you're a threat towards them. Now the principle of being red, you want to stay hidden as long as you can, and when you're going to a server you want to straight on the point and you want to hit them as hard as you can wherever it hurts the most. And if you do that, then you'll most likely succeed. There are still failure chances, but there's a high chance that you will succeed. Now once again, you can use these websites to check if they are online or not, if there's any periods when they are not online, so you could hop to the server and scout it around. Most likely sleeping or working or doing other stuff and not sitting in front of the computer. It could be also that they are on other servers, or it could be also that they are tracking down me while they are not online. It could be. Anything could happen. There's a high possibility for every scenario. However, this is the time when you could have a good chance of being solo online on the server, and that's pretty good. That's what you want, is that they don't notice that you've been on the server and you had scouted it, and you may know their base location, you may know their weaknesses by that time, and whenever you're joining when they are also online, you will be not around their base unless you attack them, because you already know what are the weaknesses, you already know how much dragon powder you need, how much bombs you need, where you want to hit, and such things. So what they will see is that yes, you're online, but they may never know that if you're level 60 or just a new guy on this server. So when they notice you, they might want to try to talk to you. They might go and scout around the map where you have bases and such, but that's for another video. You want to search on TopCon servers and on BattleMetrics this exact server which you'd like to join. You can decide if it's a high pop or if it's going to be a low pop server. And through these websites you can gain a lot of information, a lot of data, which you can write it up to an Excel sheet, or you can just remember for some data. Now the advantage on TopCon server versus the BattleMetrics is that TopCon servers do show the Funcom IDs and also the session time. So that's a huge advantage on TopCon. However, there are times and servers which are not uploaded to TopCon, and sometimes you can find it on BattleMetrics. And there are servers when you cannot find the servers neither on TopCon nor on BattleMetrics. There's an option which you could use actually is to upload the server yourself, but that's a little bit advanced. If you're being on a session, you log to this server and you log out, that means that you will disappear from the TopCon servers. And when you log back in, your session time will start from 0 hour, 0 minute, 1 second, let's say. So if you just relog, you can reset your session time, meaning that you can trick your enemies, you can trick your allies and everyone who are checking on that specific server. Because let's say you have time, you have 8 hours of playtime in front of your computer, so then what you do is that like every hour or every 2 hours, you just relog on that server so that people who are checking on TopCon, they cannot keep track of you, they cannot know that if it was you who had been on the server for like 8 hours long, because your session time will be like only 1 hour and not more. Which means that you're tricking them that you're not the guy who had been online for the last 7 hours at the 8th hour time. Now this is really important on both sides, if you're playing on a high pop or if you're playing on a low pop server, because that's how you get to discover your enemies or potential allies. Because do not forget, if you can do it, they can do it as well. Anyways, I will wrap it up for today and I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope this was really helpful. This is the first step of being a rat on any official server. One more time, thank you guys and I hope to see you in the next one. Up until then, bye!